Next, let's take the schedule we created in AutoCAD and place it in a layout tab. Again, we're using the schedule layout tab here. Under annotations, you'll now see the schedule located there. That's the current style that's set up. So if I choose that little button there, it will launch the schedule style menu. And to create a schedule, use this button here called Table. Click. Here, we'll basically set up a simple design with 3 columns to start with. So under here, it says columns. We're going to change this to 3. And I will leave all the other information as a default. Right here, it says specify insertion point. So I will click a point on the screen, and that'll be where the schedule will be placed. And again, it'll have 3 columns currently and 1 row of data. More can be added as we begin to draw this schedule. So hit OK. And I'll place it here on the screen. You'll notice first that the line here at the very top of the schedule called the title line is highlighted here, blinking, and expects me to type something. So in this case, I can type, let's say, paint schedule, hit enter. Now, I'm going to go back and confirm that this is the right style, because I'm noticing it's slightly different than the style I was expecting. It was supposed to be bold and italicized. So if something like that occurs, you can simply return to the schedule here with that little button there and check the formatting to confirm that the settings are accurate. So if I use schedule and hit modify and look under here under title, text, that right there is incorrect. It's not the standard style. It should have been the title block style. I'll hit OK. I'll close. And then immediately you'll get that change appearing here because that is the schedule style. That's supposed to be appearing italicized and bold. I can double click in these cells here and enter any type of data I'd like. So for example, we've got 3 columns and the column headers are as follows: walls, ceiling, and trim and doors. So I'll do walls here, tab, ceiling, and then here I'll do trim and doors. I just hit enter. I can also use the arrow on my keyboards to navigate through the row, basically. And I can come here and start entering information. So for example, here, this is California paints on one line. And then the next line, it has certain information. If I try to hit enter, it terminates the command. So what if I'd like to make a cell have multiple lines of text? So to do that, you click in here, go to the very end of that word, and use Alt, hold down the Alt key and click enter. And that'll allow you to have an additional line of text. So then I continue the process here. There, I very quickly type that text. Alt, hold Alt down, hit enter. And then here, latex, eggshell, finish. Now when I hit enter, without holding the Alt key, it completes the command. So then I'll simply come into the other columns, cells, and enter the data in the schedule. So let me do that quickly. And there, I've completed all the data in that row number 3 in the schedule. If I click on this object, this schedule, you'll see here there's grips on the screen. These blue grips here allow me to change the size of the schedule. Now, when you do this and you pull on those grips, I suggest you turn off snapping. So here at the bottom of the screen, I've got this deactivated here. And so if I click there and I drag it over, that column becomes longer. If I drag this one here, those in between those 2 columns, it becomes slightly longer. And I can change the entire schedule's width by using this arrow here, and I can pull on it and adjust the entire length of the schedule. If I click on each cell, if I click on this cell here, you'll see a tray of commands here in the ribbon. These here allow me to add rows to this spreadsheet. This pair here allows me to add columns to the spreadsheet. And obviously I'm in a title, so some of these will be deactivated unless you're in a legitimate column. But if I choose this one here, for example, here I can delete that column. It'll take out the walls and this information, and I'll remain with 2 columns instead of 3 columns here currently. This will insert it to the left, a new column. This will insert the new column to the right of the currently highlighted column. So if I use this command here, it adds a column to the left. I'm going to Control Z to undo that. But notice here, I can simply choose this here. I can also choose that text. I can just highlight the text. And you'll notice yet another set of commands in the tray. Here, under formatting, I can manipulate the look of that tray there. And I'm noticing here that this says that it's set up for by layer. Now let's check the schedule to see, in fact, if the formatting is accurate. Escape. Let's click on this. Let's go to here under annotations. Let's go to schedule again. And let's just confirm that under schedule style modify, this is set up correctly. Here it says by block. That's what I was expecting when I highlight that cell. These should be by layer. Let's confirm here. These are all set up correctly. So a quick double check here will confirm my suspicions that there was an error in the schedule's design. It should have been set up for by layer. Hit OK. Hit OK. Close that. And so when I click here on that cell, it's set up for by layer. City Blueprint is the font of that text style. If I choose here for the title here, it says it's set up by layer. Obviously, I can make changes here and modify the schedule further, but my initial design was set up correctly, or actually incorrectly. I just changed it, and I was expecting to see by layer here. It's now present. It's correct. Now, if I want to make a change, I can either do it in the schedule, or I can do it right here in the cell. So as I highlight this text here, let's say I want it underlined. I can highlight this, and I can make it bold italicized, which is it already is, and here's underline. Therefore, I can choose walls here, double click, underline the wall, double click here, underline that text there, double click here, highlight the entire text, hit there. And then when I'm done working and making revisions of this sort, I can accept it by closing the text editor. In addition, if you'd like the text to move locations, you can use this tool here that controls the justification right there. And we've seen these before when it comes to text. So you can place the middle center of the text inside the cell, or you can have it left justified, right justified. So you can choose any of these options and the text will get relocated within the cell, and it'll place at these locations here. Currently set up for middle center, which is right in dead center in the middle of a cell here. I will accept those changes, and then we'll move on to the next step. In this case, we want to add a column. So here, if I choose walls here, here's insert column to the left. Click. If I click inside that column header, I will use the word room. I will highlight it here and underline it. And under here, when it comes to the information, I will choose the dining room. I'll simply type that in there. And so that determines all the walls and ceilings and trim and door paints in the schedule for the dining room. This schedule is off the page. So I'll click this. I'll grab that arrow. I'll pull it back onto the page. And then here I can flex the schedule by moving these little grips left and right to my liking until I get the right format on the page that I want to see. Stay within the dotted lines so that none of this schedule gets erased or cropped off when you produce a printout. Excuse me. If I want to create another line of data, in this case, we'll do some information for the living room, I would click on one cell, and then I'll insert a row here below the line is currently highlighted. Click. There's a new row of text. That's data. So I'll come in here and type living room, and I can enter information for these columns, cells next. As an example, I've completed the entire second row with data. And I've completed this entire schedule with the formatting to my liking. Now, next we will create a second schedule beneath this schedule. And so we'll simply take this schedule here. I'll use the copy command and just simply copy it straight down. I can then come into here and determine how many columns do I need. So this next schedule has 3 lines. This here should be called door and hardware schedule. And then this column doesn't exist here, so I'll simply I'll highlight one cell, the header, and I'll use delete that row. The entire row disappears here. And for whatever reason, this title disappeared here. So let's go back and add it. Door and hardware schedule. So next, using the same set of commands we learned previously, go through this schedule and enter the information as shown in the homework assignment. As you can see in this example, the entire door and hardware schedule have been completed as per the assignment. So this is how we create schedules in AutoCAD. Feel free to test these commands and create your own schedules during this class. Okay? Take care. Catch you next time.